So guess what? Somebody on Twitter shared with me this new editor and it's amazing. And we're going to be looking at it today, called Ctr Editor. This is the editor that utilizes OpenAI technology. So basically ChatGPT integrated within it. Now, most of you might be saying, Tesla, we already have what is known as Copilot. Why should we use Ctr? Now, this is the thing. Most of you have been utilizing Copilot, but the question is, how best is it compared to Ctr? And we're going to be looking at that today, and we're going to be seeing how it functions and how the integration of it is with VS Code. So stick to the end and let's check that out soon. Today our video is sponsored by Biztec, and I want to talk about a few things that are here on Biztec that we are offering as a company. So Biztec is a cybersecurity company, and as well as we do work with open source technologies, and we build hardwares and softwares in the cyberspace. And right now, if you go down on our website on course section, you should be able to review the courses that we have that can help you as a developer, as a cybersecurity expert, or even a graphic designer to actually get the skills that you need to land a job right now here in Zambia. And we actually have better connections to link you up with jobs that you need in any area of tech space. So if you look at on our website here, we've got all these courses: ethical hacking, web development, mobile development, UI and UX designing, and as well as desktop applications and REST. So we have got all this content for you. All you have to do is go on Get Course and do the payment, and as well as you can give us a contact call to get more details about everything. I would advise you to get these courses. We've got a lot of developers that are already utilizing our courses, and they've managed to land a lot of jobs just by utilizing our courses and learning our content. So what are you waiting for? Let's get into it. Okay guys, so we are back now, and we're going to be looking at the Ctr editor. So if you look at my browser right now, it's open, and we are at the Ctr website, which is called ctr.com. And I mean, before we look at the pricing, let's go at the homepage, and the link for this website is going to be down in the description, so you can go to their website and check them out. Now getting to what is known as the Ctr editor. How is this better compared to Copilot? First of all, the title of this video is VS Code is dead. Why is VS Code dead? Because this is a new editor that is going to replace VS Code compared to the way it works and functions. Why do I say so? If you look at the functionalities of this editor, it's way more advanced, and we're gonna see that in a while. First thing we need to know is that Ctr editor is a forked version of VS Code. So basically, VS Code, of course, it's open source, and what they did is they managed to fork that repo and actually integrated it with AI, and now we have what is known as Ctr. So basically, it's more like VS Code plus Copilot together and integrated at once. Now, why did they create it? What was the first problem that most of us developers had is in terms of programming is how best can we work with AI together with programming, at the same time being able to actually give it more context, and actually the AI being able to give us the clear response on what we wanted. Now, most of the developers, and know most of you are already using the AI, and if you're in the AI paradigm, you know that you always need AI to actually develop a bit quick, and as well actually to solve problems a bit easier. So when you come to the development of any software or anything that is out there, right now a lot of developers are utilizing AI, but the question is, how best can these two be integrated? And Copilot has done a very good job doing that, but the question is, how best is Copilot compared to what has been integrated here? So what Ctr has done has been able to actually integrate GPT together with VS Code, combine them together, and being able to actually look at your code and actually look at what you're working on and what files you have created, and give you a much clearer response, a much contextualized response to your question or any problem that you have. And I think this is the best thing that we need right now, and we're going to be looking at the differences between this and Copilot very soon. Now, like I said, if you're already in the AI paradigm, and I believe a lot of people are already utilizing AI, especially developers, and I think this provides a greater interface compared to Copilot, because if you look at the way Copilot works and how Ctr works, you will see that there's a couple of differences and actually more advanced prompts that you're able to do that will actually allow you to do more compared to Copilot. Now, I don't know why they named it this, but it's funny, but they named it Copilot++. Now, it's okay. I mean, Copilot++ sounds like a copycat, but it's okay. We can still work with that. But I feel like they would have used a better name. I mean, it's something that is new, and the integration of it with VS Code, they could have used a better name. But Copilot++, I think it's really cool, and we're going to be looking at a lot of features. So if you look at my screen right now, I'm in the build software faster on the features section, and we have in here Copilot++. So they explain the code generation and as well as multiple line edits. It's able to do that. Smart rewrites, it's able to do the smart rewrites. It has the chat feature, and on the chat feature we've got code-based answers and as well as references to your code. How good is that, man? This is gonna blow your mind, trust me. When you start using this, you're gonna understand why you need to stop using VS Code and why VS Code is dead. So we're gonna be looking how to download, how to get started with it, and then at the end of the day, I'm gonna utilize it to do some of the work that I have with some of the clients, and during that session I think you're going to see how I was able to tackle some of the problems and as well as see how best you can utilize it. Now let's get started and installing it. So the first thing you want to do is go to the download section and click the download button. So if you are like me, you have IMD installed, it's quickly going to prompt you with it, and I think most of you guys who are in Zambia, you should utilize IMD. It's a quick download manager, and if you want me to do a video on how to install IMD, Internet Download Manager, I think you let me know. It's one of the greatest download managers out there that is able to download anything in packets, and it's really good, especially if you're a game developer or you do gaming. This is a good software to download games with. So this is gonna take a bit of minutes, but I already have it downloaded, so I'm going to get into it direct in my download software section. And when you go here, you get started with the installation. Okay, so we're going to be looking at a lot of things and seeing the differences between Copilot and Ctr, and as well as the differences between VS Code and Ctr itself. And this is what makes it beautiful, because it's a combination of the two, both Copilot and as well as both AI, I would say, and as well as VS Code at the same time, being able to have something that is greatly integrated for developers. So I think it is done with installation. Okay, there we go. So the first thing we want to do here, it's asking us what type of keyboard. So we're just going to say default VS Code. I'm going to put that. If you needed to change any specific language, you're able to put it here for the AI response. And here, code base wide, I think, yeah, we're gonna use compute embeddings. This is okay. We're gonna enable it, and we're gonna click continue. And then after that, we're gonna use extensions. So if you already have VS Code installed, we can actually just click get extensions, and it will actually get the extensions for you directly from there. So installing important extension settings and key embeddings from VS Code to make it typical. Yeah, so you understand that. Let's wait a bit. Okay guys, so I forgot to mention this, but right now we're using what is known as the free version. And if you go on pricing, you find that the free version actually comes with this package. So the free version here, Pro for 2 weeks trial, and then 50 slow GPT for users. So basically this means that you're going to get obviously 50 times slow GPT usage compared to somebody who is using a pro version who is getting a 500 faster GPT-4 usage. So if you want something that is 500 faster like GPT-4, and we'll see how the response is based off the 50 slow GPT usage, and 200 cursor small usage, and as well as 2000 Copilot completions. So this is the package that comes with. And if you're just a beginner and you're just an individual who is developing, I think this is a great start. If you have money, you can still invest into the GPT Pro, and I think that comes with greater response, and you'll be able to actually work around the cursor very quite well and faster. But guess what, the free version is actually better and you're able to utilize it. So let's check our installation, continue with default. Yes, that's what we want to do. Data preferences, help improve. Yeah, I mean, we can check and help improve, or privacy mode. We can set the privacy mode. If you enable privacy mode, none of your questions or code will ever be stored by us or any third party. So I think this is good. You can select that, especially if you don't want your code to be shared by anybody, or you can have it shared. It's up to you. So here you can hit the login button once you do that, and the login shouldn't be difficult. I guess usually like going with continue with Google. So select my Google account. Hope it doesn't tell me to put my password, because it means I have to hide it for you. Okay, there we go, managed to log in. So we're in right now, and voila. Now the first thing you see is that cursor is quite similar to VS Code, the interface. Why? It's because it's a forked version of VS Code, and this is what makes it easy. I mean, if you already have a VS Code version of it, it's more like, it's how do I put it? It's more like VS Code, but in a beast mode. Yeah, so if you look at it right now, if you go on help and you go on about, you see that the version is 0.35.1. that's the version of it. And how behind is it? So it uses Electron. Yeah, it uses Electron 22.25. okay, yeah, and the node. Okay, so these are the actual version of it, and it might be behind by one repo, I think, with VS Code. I think you can check that. I haven't checked the recent updates with VS Code, but you can always do that and clarify. So this is how it looks, and I've already it has actually integrated itself already in my system, and it has been able to actually check the files that I have, and it has brought them exactly the way VS Code is. So you can see the files that I was working on, and as well as the code that I was working on. So today we're going to be looking at how important and how this cursor operates compared to VS Code and as well as Copilot. So getting started with it, I'm just going to close a couple of files. As you can see, too many files are open. I want to have a clear terminal here as we get started. Okay, so there we go. I think we can work with this. So I think I can show this code. I think I can show it. So basically I was working on this code here. Now before we go to all the exciting features, I'm gonna clear my terminal down here. So the first thing we want to look at that this cursor comes with, it comes with what is known as the pairing programming. So you're able to do pairing programming here on the cursor. And the other thing, it comes with Copilot++, which we're going to look at how it functions. It's able to do error detection and as well as has a lot of features that can help you to actually work around with your code. Now, if you can see on your left side of my screen here, on this section we have the extensions, and you can see maybe the interface is a bit different compared to VS Code. So we have the extensions logo on top there. On VS Code it's quite different. You can install, of course, C# as an extension here, so you can do that. So if you look at C# as an extension, okay, error while fetching. Is it my network connection? What's going on? Okay, there we go. So we can see the extensions that are coming in. You can also install React, ES5, right? So you can install the ES7 here, we can see it. So you can store all type of extensions, man. So this is how great this thing is, just quite similar to VS Code. Okay, so now we're going to look at two commands that are utilized for you to get access to the AI that was within the Ctr editor. So now the Ctr editor, for you to utilize the AI tool that they have, which is Copilot++, the first command that you want to prompt is what is known as Ctr K. So Ctr K is going to prompt what is known as an internal terminal Copilot++ that is going to help you to actually work and as well as prompt anything that you want it to help you with, be it actually utilizing of the AI to generate code for you, be it studying the actual code that you have, having a context of it, and that's what we're going to look at right now. So let's say maybe we're trying to prompt it to explain about this particular code. The first thing that we could do is utilize the command that is known as Ctrl-L. So Ctrl-L is a command that is going to prompt to open the chat section. Now this is the amazing part of it that we talked about that Ctr has. So Ctr has this chat section that is connected to your code, and it's able to actually understand all the code base that you have. Now this can depend, because if you look at how you are utilizing OpenAI ChatGPT, where you have to copy the code and take it to ChatGPT, and it actually doesn't understand the full context of what you're asking it for. With this one, it's already connected to your files, and that's the best part of it. It's already connected to your files, and it knows which file is connected to which, and we're going to look at that. So I'm going to prompt it here. If you can look at on my right, let me just increase the screen a bit. So here I'm going to prompt it and ask it to actually okay, what is there? Okay, let's say explain this code to me. Explain this code to me. And I can actually put what is known as @ So @ is what is being utilized to actually study the particular code that you are trying to reference to. So you can either reference it with files, you can either reference it with a folder, or you can reference it with the code that you're actually looking at that particular moment, or you can actually reference it as well as with the web. So basically it's going to go on the web and actually search for a particular context that you're looking for, or a particular document, and as well as Git. So basically these might be a Git repository, and also the code base. So basically the entire code base that you have. So in this case, we're going to say code, and then we're going to click the particular file. As you can see, it has already referenced invest2, and we can actually click it, and we should be able to hit enter here, and within a couple of seconds it should be able to prompt us and explain the code to us. That's the magic. This is the magic that is happening here, and if you can look at it, it explains everything here. It talks about the imports that have been done, the hooks, the material UI components, all the component, React print, React router, and Firebase store. It explains each and everything. How good is that? Now, like I said, there might be a bit of similarities with Copilot itself, but this is way different. First thing, we're looking at the interface. The interface is way different compared to Copilot, and it's a bit more advanced in terms of how it functions and how it prompts, and it's way cleaner, you know. So if you can look at here, it gives you all the code and explains how the code operates. And this is one of the best features I think that I've liked so far. Now, if you go down here from the prompt, you can actually tell it to continue if you like the layout or the outcome of the answer. And you can actually go down here and actually choose the model. Okay, so you can actually utilize any model that you want. Now, this is something that is what I was talking about. These are some of the stuffs that you can actually leverage off when you're actually programming. So if you look at here, we've got GPT-4o. And I mean, you know, GPT-4o, this is one of the best AI models that we have, large language model that we have right now that has been released. And if you look at, let's say maybe if you're utilizing 3.5, now why would you want to switch to a lower model? If you go back on the website, I think you saw this. They talked about pricing, right? And if you're utilizing GPT-4, you only got 50 slow usage of it. Now, if you're utilizing anything that is lower than that, I think you'll get to see you actually have more usage if you're utilizing any version of any model that is lower. So you can look at this, and you can actually add an image. You can actually prompt images here. So this is way better compared to Copilot itself. So coming back on top, the other thing that you're going to notice before we go on top, I said there's two commands. So the first command that I talked about was Ctrl-L for actually bringing up the chart. If you do Ctrl-L again, actually the chart is going to go away. It's going to clear the data. Now, Ctr-K, this is an internal prompt that you do to actually edit a particular code or actually inject any code or look at which error or bugs are there in your code and actually rectify them. So we're gonna look at this more in detail, but you can actually prompt it here anything. I'll give example. Can you create a function for this? So if I go down here, I've got a couple of codes, and then here, so here I can prompt it, and once I highlight it, I can click Ctr-K. So basically it will only look at this code, and I can say can you create a similar function to this. And once I prompt that, it's going to start coding within my code and I create a similar function. So here it has created a similar function to this, and we can actually accept, as you can see, control. I can't see that, but when you click here, it's going to accept. As you can see, it has accepted the actual features that have the actual edits that have been done. So you can do this, and we're gonna look at it later in details as I start coding for other stuff. So we're just gonna do Ctrl-Z because we don't want to make any changes. Okay, we're good. So now going back here on top, you're going to see the setting option. Now this is crazy, guys. I mean, look at this. Apart from you just utilizing the AI, you can actually pass what is known as rules to the AI. And here, if you look at it, saying these rules get shown to the AI on all charts. So basically you can pass these particular rules. I'll give an example of this one. Always use function React, never use unwrap in Rust, always output your answers in Portuguese. So you can give all these type of rules that you want on how the AI is supposed to respond, how it's supposed to format your code. Now this is something that we've never seen before in a lot of editors, especially I'll give example of Copilot itself that people are using. So now if you go down here is where we have the privacy mode. Now the privacy mode, this is what I was talking about, where you're able to actually have a privacy mode where your code is not actually submitted, or your content is actually not submitted. I'll give example. If you're working for a company and they don't allow you to use AI because they don't want their code to be submitted to any AI model, so this is one way to utilize the privacy mode and enable it. And of course the prompts, they're going to be of course gotten by OpenAI, but at least you still have your code secured and have the privacy mode on. I think that's a great feature. Looking at all these AI models that have been developed, which we must be able to have some kind of control on our own data. So when you go to models, the model section, now here is where I think I didn't mention this, but if you don't have any money to pay for the standard of Pro version, you can still utilize the same AI that you use. If you already paid for GPT, you can utilize the key, right? You can get the API key and insert it in here, and guess what? You're going to use the pro version because you already have that paid already with OpenAI. So it's just a matter of you transferring the key, and you can utilize it like that. You can also transfer the Google API key, you can transfer the OpenAI key, and all these others. And also, if you have your own large language model that you've already launched, let's say maybe in Azure, you can actually utilize that and link it up in here. And guess what? In later videos, we're going to look at how to use your own large language model locally on your machines, and as well as how to build your own contextualized models that are able to study your content. So let me know if you want that type of videos, and we're gonna be looking at them in the future. And if you look at this now, here on top we have got model names. So basically you can enable the type of models that you want. Right now we're using GPT-4o, but we've got GPT-4 that can be enabled if you want to use it, and we've got the rest here, as you can see. Now if you go down here, we've got another section which is known as features. Now features, I think, is a good part where it shows the chat section, and it gives you some kind of features that you can prompt in, like always search for web. So you can enable it where each and every command it's able to search on the web if you wanted to do so. The other thing that you want to look at as well is beta. So there's got some beta features that they are developing as Cursor, and you can actually look at these beta features and enable them if you want to utilize them and test them. I think this is so cool, and a lot of developers are gonna have fun with this, you know. So right now I think that is all that we can look at. The other thing, I think, before I end the video, I would like to look at what is known as like I said, the last command, which is a Ctr K. It can also be utilized on the console log. So here you can say you can still click on the console log and prompt Ctr K, and you can see there, man. And this is not in the Copilot. You can see here that the prompt has come for the Copilot++, and I'm able to actually tell it to say lists all the directories. And once I do that, it's going to look for a command that is able to list all directories. And once I prompt that and click enter, guess what? It listed all the directories. So this is for the people who don't know how to utilize the console log, the commands. So you can always prompt it and give it a wording and explanation, and it's able to look for commands that you can enter in the console log. Now guys, this is just a scratch on the surface. We can always create a video that we compare detail to detail what Copilot is able to do and what Cursor is able to do, and see which one is better to utilize. But first of all, what I can tell you, with all these developments of AI models being integrated in all these editors that we're having, this is something that you can utilize right now to run and simplify your work and make it so much easier. So I want you to utilize this the Cursor log. Utilize it today as you watch this video. Once you do that, you find how good it is, and come down and give us the comments. Tell us what you think about Cursor, and as well as give us any questions that you think we could answer in the next video if we were to look at Cursor in detail with the Copilot itself. So I think this is pretty much amazing. The only thing that I haven't liked is the Copilot++. They could have used a better name. I mean, I don't know why they went for that, but everything else is so amazing. And this is what I'm gonna be using today to actually work on this project, and we're gonna have a short video running soon as we get started with it. So guys, stick around, see how I was able to use it and how best I'm going to be able to implement this in my day-to-day work, and hopefully it goes well. So check you out soon.